As you probably know, Crew 2.0 is a topic which was a wildfire. Like, apparently the Russian forum post had more than 1,500 pages. It went on and it was a huge discussion point for basically everyone. And in today's video I want to discuss what Wargaming said themselves, what kind of feedback and reaction they had, and what they want to do to keep on going forward. In today's video you will also see some background footage where I played the chieftain, like the OP chieftain, on the sandbox server because I wanted to see how ridiculous can I make this tank, and it was ridiculous, you know. Some of those crew skills were just like made for those tanks. But yeah, let's move on into the first statement Wargaming has to offer, and it is now obvious to us that Crew 2.0 requires further improvements. Therefore, the main changes that we proposed in the current sandbox will not be released in this form. We need more time to keep working on them before we have a new version we are ready to present to you. In German we have a saying which goes like the follow. Einsicht ist der erste Weg zur Besserung. Knowing that you made a mistake is the first way to, get better. And it might not be super fitting for what we have right here, but I have to say I'm applauding to Wargaming Wargaming World of Tanks, that they are not pushing out something they saw people are not happy with. That is very, very important, because lately there were just some things with World of Warships Commander rework, which is basically what we experience right now with World of Tanks. It is a dumpster fire. That's sadly how it is. It is a dumpster fire. A lot of people hated it. World of Tanks console had the same shit as well. And guess what, boys? It was a dumpster fire. So I am more than happy to see that the World of Tanks PC developers are noticing that they're like, well, shit. We have to listen to our community because they are the ones which are playing our game. And I'm very, very happy to see that they notice that yes, there have to be improvements. Let's now talk about the preliminary results. The preliminary survey results and direct feedback revealed that the proposed changes did not receive the approval we were expecting from the community. Many players pointed out the need for significant changes and improvements to Crew 2.0. Some of the players agree with the idea of changing the crew, but they still have several concerns regarding the proposed version. Parts of the player base did not like the concept at all, and their feedback largely points to the same concerns as mentioned before. That is good to hear. That is very, very good to hear, because it really does echo my personal opinion on those changes. In theory, I think the Crew 2.0 is a nice change of pace. It is a difference from what we had, Now we suddenly have specialized crews, while right now we have something like all-rounder crews, Basically every medium can have 500 meters fuel range if they want to. Every scout can have 500 fuel range except for the EPR, It kind of feels, it's all like a mush. And Crew 2.0 really did try to make specific crews for specific tanks, Make them specialized. But again, as they notice themselves, there are significant things they have to change, and that is great to see that they notice that. I still think that in theory a Crew 1.5 would be better than a complete rework in the sense of Crew 2.0. Implement the good things, like no more 75% crews, no more 50% crews. Introduce the topic of you are allowed to, have a crew being put on 3 different vehicles without any penalties. This is great. 6 cents for everybody. Those are the great things. And maybe just, remove some never used skills or something, and maybe make the curve not exponential but more linear. And boom, you would have Crew 1.5, and I think 90% of the players would approve that, because it's a system we already have, and we as humans don't like too many big changes, and we just have the current system, we improve it, and ta-da! That's literally why everybody's buying the iPhone. Okay, that was rude, but you get the gist, That basically just make improvements to a working product. That was, I think, what the majority of the people would want to see. But let's have a look at the main discussion topics which Wargaming found out in their survey. The first one being the experience of zero skills is not taken into account in the conversion. Yes, this was a huge topic and I heard so many people in my comment section, in my streams, literally getting the pitchforks, you know, literally getting the guns ready to get so mad at Wargaming in that regard, you know, that this didn't work out, because in the current system with Brothers in Arms, you basically only a 3 to 4 skill crew, which is already competitive enough for even clan wars, you know. Sure, you kind of want to have a 5 or 6 skill crew even, you know, but the 4 skill crew, that's totally fine, you can work with that. But if the conversion happened, you basically only had a 40 level crew, you know, because Brothers in Arms wasn't taken into account, or the 0 skill Brothers in Arms. So that was something which people really didn't like, me included. So good to see that this is a discussion topic. Then, no bonus to crew qualification for a fully trained commander. That is a little bit susceptible, I would say, because in the current system, if you have a commander which is at 100%, it kind of gives like 20 or 20, yeah, around 20% to your crew as well. So your commander has 110%, if you noticed, and your crew, for example, has 121% with everything involved, you know, or I think it was all the way up to 131, if I'm not mistaken, with bond equipment. Write it down in the comment section below if I'm right or not wrong. The thing is, in the Crew 2.0, this was kind of what vehicle handling was when you reached 75 plus, you know, and kept on grinding out those different XP levels. But this is kind of misleading, because I do feel like the old system was a little bit better, because I don't know, it's just what we are used to. Again, mentioned before, we are humans, we don't really like big changes, you know. We like improvements, but we don't like big changes. So suddenly everything was loads different, you know. Randomness in the choice of instructor skills. Yes, this was a topic everybody hated, and I'm glad to see that this is going to change. I do still think that instructors shouldn't give skill points at all, because you are just able to make easily OP crews, you know, with that. Yeah, or at least in the current system. Again, this is another topic. Effectiveness of different skills in new and old system obviously will change, but I still think the instructors are zero skill crews. Back in the old system, you used them to make the grinds easier. So why not just give them a higher modifier, like 50% or so for crew XP, but don't really give them don't really give them skill points. I think this makes the game a little bit too strong. I don't know, it makes some skills way too overpowered. Again, 80% on adrenaline rush. But yeah, effectiveness of different skills in old and new system, we discussed it already. So unnecessary crews remaining from the old system. Yeah, here I think that Wargaming should just give us an idea to kind of melt those people in. I know that sounds very, very mean and stuff like that, but you know, when the new system would come, you have now crews which you can just use on 3 different vehicles. So you have, for example, on my EBR crew, I wouldn't really need a tier 9 crew or a tier 8 crew anymore. So I have just crews laying around which I don't really need anymore, so why not just let me melt them in for crew booklets, you know? That would be a good system, and I think that would be a good idea anyway for a lot of people, like when you only have like several 100 crews with just 1 skill or something. Just melt them in for crew books. That would be already enough. So, what's next? We are now processing all the data collected in the sandbox. We will go over it in detail and try to develop the solution that will address concerns and bring satisfaction for all type of players. Depending on the results of this work, we will decide on a possible second iteration of testing Crew 2.0 on the sandbox, and we'll keep you informed. That, you know, compared to the HE rework, what they wrote, I feel like here they might not even do a second sandbox, because they might notice that their idea isn't as good as they wanted it to be. It's the same thing it's the same quote we basically had in the beginning of the video. So I'm surprised, because I kind of can't believe that Wargaming will let this idea go, because there is a lot of time and effort which went into this project, which went into this prototype, which went into this very much fleshed out prototype, you know. So I kind of have a hard time understanding or seeing that Wargaming wants to completely scrap that in theory. But it might be something Wargaming needs to do. Again, I feel like what the majority of the people want to see is not a Crew 2.0, but a Crew 1.5 or a 1.1 version even. Just a logical iteration and evolution of the system we have right now. Again, think about maybe just making all the crews together, you know. May have one crew member, which is again commander. So you don't have the problem with 6 crews, with 5 crews, with 4 crews in the same line. But keep the crew skills as they are. Maybe make the progression not exponential, but more linear. And obviously make 6th Sense for everybody available. Lose 75 and 50% crews. And boom, we have crew 1.1. And then maybe rework 1 or 2 skills which are absolutely useless, like relay station. And boom, you have crew 1.2, 1.3, which I think 90% of the players would exactly like. Because those are the things we constantly talked about all the time. 75% crews are shite. Zero skill 6th Sense is shite. We need that as a thing in the game, you know, because grinding a long time for getting 6th Sense is just something new players do not want to do, you know. It is frustrating. Wait, why did I die? Am I spotted? What is spotting, you know? So having everybody, or giving everybody zero skill 6th Sense, or everybody 6th Sense, is a great addition, something I can't wait to see. So yeah, it will be interesting to see where Wargaming is going on. I am very, like seriously, I'm very happy how Wargaming is handling the current situation with the sandbox. Next week the RD sandbox should come. That is a topic which I am very interested to see how this is going. As you probably know, I am an RD hater myself, and I see the importance of RD, but in the current iteration it is frustrating to fight against. So we'll see how this is going. The thing is, again, I have to say, I'm taking a lot of shit about World of Tanks. I guess some people might even call myself Surfforce 2.0 in that regard. But I do have to applaud again how Wargaming is handling the situation with the HE rework and with the crew rework and with RD rework. It does feel like they are listening a lot to us. So we'll see how it goes, and it will be interesting to see how HE is going to change in the second iteration and how crew is going to change, if it is going to change at all. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about Wargaming's Mumbo Jumbo, and I'll see you around in the next video. If you subscribe. And if you already have, cool.